this endeavor with your presence. Many all over the world are also praying for this project. Many all over the world are praying for this project. Before we start Juma prayer, there are individuals I must thank. Without them, none of this would have ever come to fruition. First of all, I would like to thank my friend Jenny King. And she is a wonderful sister who in a moment of inspiration said to me, as we discussed this dream of having a women's worship space, said, we must call it the Heart of Mary. I was touched by these words, and she went on, and we went on inspired from that point and began to build Qal'bu Maryam, Mary's heart. Little did I know that this dedication of this mosque would be during Holy Week for our Christian brothers and sisters and on Good Friday. I want to thank, first of all, my friend Susella Kay, my Jewish sister, who put so much hard work into this and gave such good advice to me along the way. I want to thank Elise Harlander, my sweet little sister, and her new baby Luna, whose visits to me eased the burden on my heart, and who, as I pondered which way to go and how to go. I want to thank Bishop Yvette Flunder from City of Refuge for having faith in us and giving us our first roof over our heads in those first fleeting moments of our beginning. I want to thank Tony Dunbar for her guidance and prayers. I want to thank Rashid Patch for his wisdom and knowledge, Rabbi Steve Bar David for his willingness to help and his depth of knowledge of both Abrahamic faiths and languages. Soraya Dean has been a very supportive sister. She volunteered to come on board, and she took a great deal of the burden off my shoulders with her expertise, as well as Sister Crystal Keshawars, who is our muezzina. With her experience and with her depth of knowledge, she is a wonderful addition to Qal'bu Maryam. But most importantly, I'd like to thank Dr. Gabriella Latini, the Dean of Starr King. Dr. Latini and I go back a ways, and she has been with me from my start here as a student at Starr King. She was always there for me to give me advice and much needed support. I felt that we were kindred spirits and understood each other on a deeper level than just words. I hold a very deep respect for her and her guidance and her compassion. I thank Dr. Amina Wadud, who is not here, she's in London today, for offering herself as an advisor. Also Dr. Ghazala Anwar, also one of my professors here when I was at school here, for her encouragement and friendship over the years. Dr. Ziba Mir Husseini, who is located in London, who is a leading Islamic feminist. She has also given her support to us. And I thank her for offering her seal of approval. All these people and many more have contributed to what you see today, and I am honored and extremely grateful for what you all have done. At this time, I'd like to invite the president of Starr King to say a few words, Dr. Bray McNabb.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for supporting this important project. It is an honor for Starr King School for the Ministry, and very much in keeping with our Unitarian Universalist values of openness and inclusion and of religious and spiritual freedom. What we embark upon today here is part of that legacy of this school, and an honor to the people who have created such a space here at Starr King. I speak in memory of Ibrahim Farjaje, the former provost of the school, who helped us to expand our multi-faith understandings and connected it to our Unitarian Universalist heritage. I am grateful that you have placed your trust in us in holding this sacred space for women and for anyone who wishes an open way to pray and to worship. Thank you for honoring us with your presence.
I would also like to acknowledge Akiva from Assemblyman Tony Thurman's office in Oakland, who is bestowing this wonderful sister as a district delegate for District 18 in Oakland. And I will give this to you.
So I want to thank you all for this amazing opportunity to come on behalf of the assembly member. This is an amazing addition to all spiritualists in our district, and we wanted to just come here and give you guys all a certificate of recognition, which will be presented to Qal'bu Maryam Women's Mosque in honor of opening the first women's mosque in Northern California and second one in the United States of America. I thank you for providing a sacred and safe space for women to worship and receive an Islamic education. Thank you for modeling inclusivity and welcoming women from all backgrounds and faiths. On behalf of the 15th Assembly District, we thank you and honor you for all of your groundbreaking achievements. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to recognize, I hope that he is here, the Mayor of Berkeley, Jesse Aragreen. Could you come up and say a few words? Thank you so much.
Well, this is a really exciting moment, and I want to commend the Starr King for opening up and making this happen, a place for all faiths to come and worship. And now more than ever, it's essential that we embrace all faiths and all backgrounds. And so this comes at a very important time in our city, in our country. And so I'm very honored to be here at the opening of the first women mosque in Northern California, which is very exciting. And in Berkeley, and congratulations. Of course it's in Berkeley. And to congratulate everyone for all the work in making this happen. This is really an important contribution to our spiritual community in Berkeley. And thank you all so much. And on behalf of the city of Berkeley, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to wait till 12:54 for a second? I'm just going to start, actually. We have the call to prayer at 12:54, so we would be a little early if we did it now. Do you think that would be?
Yeah. It's flexible.
Okay, so we'll just go ahead and do that so we can stay on track. So this is the second call to prayer.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah.
Our mission as a women's mosque is mainly to recenter and refocus on what our faith tradition already celebrates and reinforces, but which has been obstructed by patriarchy, historical practices, and culture. And that is equality of men and women. Every chapter of the Quran, save one, begins with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rahman, a key attribute of God, the most compassionate, is rooted in the word Ram, for womb. And the word Ummah, the word for our global Muslim community, is rooted in mother. We have so many examples of strong female influences in the language of Islam. It is clear to me that it was intended that these references be a guiding light to bring us back to the truth of its origins, stretching back to the earliest periods of our faith tradition. And now these powerful female influences, with them in mind, we want to inspire a new generation to take roles in the community of educators and of visionaries and of leaders. We are told that God has no gender, but due to the limitations of language and the use of pronouns and the cultural influences, many of us have come to identify God with masculine characteristics, thus suggesting that men are somehow closer to divinity. And to add to that, our communal prayers and sermons are almost always led by men. We only hear the voices of men, and mostly male experiences that have guided our spirituality. At least at the community level, this reinforces the notion of male spiritual superiority and female inferiority. Our goal is to shift that paradigm and thinking and enable women to experience the divine and experience Islam in a deeper, more meaningful way, guided by what is innate and already in the female, an emotional neural network designed so finely tuned to the spirit that we know what our children need before they cry. In a way that puts our experiences and needs in front and center. Also, our goal is to remove false hierarchies and supposed superiorities that separate us all from one another. Sunni over Shia, born Muslim over convert, white over black, yellow over brown, straight over queer, man over woman, and rich over poor. Our intention is to focus on the social justice principles that underpin our faith, that unite all of us together in a spirit of learning, and a spirit of wanting to be good global citizens, and a spirit of kindness and love, and to be allies with our Muslim brothers in a new way, in which we learn together, sitting at the overflowing well of knowledge in Islam and following our beloved Prophet's example of being of the best of character and loving women, respecting women, which will indeed build a powerful Islam that focuses on maturity and emotional intelligence and compassion and wisdom. The spirituality we espouse in this space is one in which we harmonize rather than dominate. Where we celebrate questions, we celebrate the search for knowledge, we celebrate the process of learning rather than hard and fast rules and regulations, and deciding who is right and who is wrong. We understand that each person has their own way of engaging with their faith. We provide the supportive environment, the forum for each person to take charge of their relationship with Islam and with the divine. God is the ultimate decider and ultimate judge. Our command is to take care of one another, male and female, all of humanity. What matters is what is in the heart of the person, not what's on the outside. We want to nurture the spirit, to give it a place to grow and to flower. We need to see the divine in one another and appreciate what we can accomplish as allies instead of adversaries. Women are God's perfect creation. We are not less. Men are not more. We are not broken or tainted or cursed or more prone to go to hell than men. Erase these images. We are your sisters. At Qal'bu Maryam, we intend on helping women find their calling, to find their place in the world, and to maintain a powerful tie to God. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, most compassionate and most merciful. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. All praise and thanks be to Allah. Praise be to God. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek refuge with God from the errors of our own souls and from our transgressions. Assalamu alaikum and welcome. My presence here today is very unlikely. I am a South Asian woman, born in Sri Lanka. I do not read Arabic, nor do I understand it. I do not wear the hijab. By definition, some might say a bad Muslim. And I might say no, maybe a Unitarian. When I was 12, I went to the local mosque and I was told that I couldn't come there because I was a girl. I was told I couldn't show my hair. And then I was told that I couldn't speak. For 40 years, I believed that. And today, I stand on behalf of the millions of women around the world whose voices have been suppressed, women whose voices have been discredited and discounted and discarded, women whose roles have been undermined, underappreciated, and undervalued by our religious institutions, well insulated by patriarchy and misogyny. I stand here for the marginalized voices of all progressive Muslims, girls and women particularly. And I want them to know, and I want us to know, that no matter what has been said before or what will be said in the future, we must always remember one thing, that we are all masterpieces of the Master.
Yes.
We must remember that the anomaly is not with the Creator. It is with our culture, it is with our religious institutions and the patriarchy. The struggle is not with our Creator. Because the problem arises because some people are given the opportunity for their greatness to be expressed. Some. while some others like me and my Muslim sisters, that our greatness needs to be suppressed. And I stand here in deep gratitude for my country, with implicit faith of the freedoms it guarantees to me, a Muslim woman and immigrant today, to speak up. In no Muslim country will my story be possible today. The framers of the Declaration of Independence had remarkable insight and vision when they wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, and all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And as an American Muslim today, I have a duty to uphold that truth, that all men are created equal. My faith mandates. In Surah Al-Nisa 4:59, it says, "O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those in authority among you." And the authority is the declaration. And as Rabi'a said, Quran, Surah 2:8, women too have rights over men, similar to the rights men have over women. And I say that we are called to obey the law of our country and to know that as our faith, my faith mandates, that no gender is superior over the other. And we're gathered here not to revisit those truths, but to act on those truths. Because we can't confine it to an idea or an ideology. We need boots on the ground and thoughts on the ground. Yes, time has come. Because religion, as we know, for time immemorial, has always collided with women. Yes, religious freedom and women's freedom always have a collision. So whomsoever God guides, we will never be led astray. And whomsoever God leads astray, no one can guide. وَأَشْهَدُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. We declare that there is no God but one God, the one with no partners, and we bear witness that Muhammad is the servant and his messenger. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Please join me in reciting the Fatiha. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladhdallin. Amen. So I take a moment to thank my sister Rabi'a for her vision in creating an all-inclusive masjid with an emphasis on social justice. You have brought together people of diverse backgrounds and interests to sit together and to create a space where we can learn and grow. Prophet Muhammad said, Allah is one and he likes unity. So in Genesis, when God asked Adam, "Adam, where are you?" He fully knew where Adam was. God is omnipresent. He knew. But why did he ask that question? Because he wanted Adam to think. So at Qal'bu Maryam, that's what we are embarking on. We're going to think. We're going to question. And we're going to question every answer. And my sermon today will be not fully completed if I don't thank Starr King Ministries. You have set a human example. It's a human example. One of kindness, compassion, and love to the Muslim community. In a time where American Muslims are held vicariously liable for terrorism that's conducted outside of our country, in a time where we are accused of wanting to subvert the Constitution of the United States, in a time where our patriotism is questioned at every given turn, you stand with us. Because you know as well as we all know that evil prevails when good people do nothing. And let us not forget what Napoleon said. He said, religion is a powerful tool to keep people quiet and squabble. And it is an extremely important tool for the people who govern. And we can't fall into that trap today. So when you create a space and invite us, it matters. Thank you again. And it is also a well-known fact that after 9/11, the Unitarian churches opened its doors to Muslims. I was one of the benefactors. It's my testimony here. From San Francisco to San Diego, I traveled from church to church because they gave me the space to speak. And I remember one time when I told my daughter this is where I was going to a Unitarian church, she said, "Mommy, is there a franchise?" So let us be really celebrate this mosque, not just today, for time to come. Because it is a testament for the courage and boldness of women all over the world. The United Nations did a study and they said 60% of peace negotiations fail because women are not invited. They are not consulted and they don't contribute to peacemaking. So this is our time. It is time for us women, like women stepped out of their comfort zone, out of their boundaries thousands of years ago. We are in an era of enlightenment. We must all have the opportunity to express ourselves. Our voice matters. There comes a time when we must stop asking ourselves, what would happen if I do it? We have to ask the question, what would happen if I don't do it? Like Maryam, whom this mosque is named after, we must step up and step into our greatest calling. We must answer that call. So today is Good Friday, where Monday was Passover. And I believe that as we give birth to Qal'bu Maryam, I want to talk to you a little about Mother Mary, Maryam. Mary shines as a symbol of God's desire to use the obscure and the ordinary. She had a deep relationship with God. Let's always remember this. She had a deep relationship with God. Nobody told her what that relationship should be like. It was deep. So today what we need is that kind of deep relationships with our Creator. People around her did not see her as the chosen one, but God did. So it is therefore incumbent upon every one of us to cultivate that relationship. In her book, All the Women of the Bible, Edith Dean wrote, Mary, though she never traveled any further than from Palestine to Egypt, and then by a donkey, her story still travels to the furthest corners of the world. A simple peasant girl who now stands one of the most loved women in our times. And the Quran is very clear. It dedicates Surah 19 to Maryam, Mary, the mother of Jesus. She's the only female referred to in the Quran. Only female. And Prophet Muhammad is known to have said, many among you men attained perfection. But among women, none attained perfection as Maryam, the daughter of Imran, did. At the age of 14, she accepted with full faith and trust of God's plan. She endured the wrath of her community for carrying a child without being married. She was humble. She was bold. She was poor, but she was rich. She had questions, but she obeyed God when she heard the angel say, Verily, Mary, God has chosen you from among the women in the world. So we know that. Many are called, but a few are chosen. There are many Marys in this room. Women who have endured great hardship, incredible losses, and unimaginable sorrow. Like Mary, she even stood at the foot of the cross to watch her son being crucified. So the question I want my sisters particularly to ask, and my brothers to think how they can support these other sisters, is, as Mary bore a son to this world, what am I bringing forth to this world? Horace Mann once said, man should be ashamed to die until he has made a major contribution to the world. So like Mary, we can all be a part of God's remarkable story. And I invite you to consider that journey to begin here, in the city of Berkeley, in this mosque. Because this is where ideas come up, where creativity takes place. So I invite you to, in your mind, for those of you who are already doing it, escalate that, whatever movement you're building, the song you're writing, the story you're narrating. And for those of us who have not yet, let us step into that space. And Mary is also important for another two very specific reasons. Because she unites the Abrahamic faith. Because today, look at our world. I mean, there's hate and racism and bigotry in the center of our country. Yes. So it is time for us to focus on Mary. Because she united us. Because if we don't, our beautiful nation is furiously and fastly approaching towards discord and division. Let the story of Mary bring us together. And second, we have to realize that Jesus was son of Mary, not son of Joseph. Yeah. Yes, so it gives us an impetus to make our voices heard. He was the son of Mary. Yes. So we can't give up on anything. We can't. Because anybody's opinion, like imagine her life at that time was so negative. And negativity can bring us down. They say when you hear one thing negative, you have to say 15 things positive to get over that negativity. Yes. So watch whom you hang with. And I want to finish this part of my sermon with a little story my father taught me. Because to me, that story reflects the heart of Mary. Because to me, that story reflects what she carried in her heart. Compassion, love. So this is the story of two chicken farmers who went to a farm. The farmer number one collected the chicken eggs. He brought it home, he cooked it, he served some, he saved some, and he sold some. Now farmer number two, he did something totally opposite. He went to the chicken coop and he brought the chicken poop. And suddenly, over a period of time, the house started to stink, he started to stink. So the question my father told me, every day as you wake up, ask this question: are you carrying the chicken eggs or the chicken poop? And Mary, she carried those eggs. She carried those golden brown, beautiful eggs. So we're going to take a moment and to make dua, and for 15 seconds we will pray in silence. Thank you. Let us take a moment to turn around and greet one another.
Oh yeah, absolutely.